Hey everyone, today we're going to read a story called My New Teacher and Me by Weird Al Yankovic. This is one of my favorite stories. Let's open up the book. We'll see the pictures inside. My New Teacher and Me. What's this? A school bus. Good job. And this must be the new school. That's where we are today. The first day of school, it was finally here, and I wondered who'd my new teacher be this year. You see all the students in the classroom? Then at 8:30 sharp, a tall stranger walked in. He stood by the chalkboard and stroked his long chin. And that's when he stopped and he stared right at me. He said, "You, young man, what's that filth on your shirt? You can't come into my classroom covered in dirt." I said, "Hi, nice to meet you, sir. Billy's the name. See, a funny thing happened before the bus came." Here's the teacher. Here's Billy. I was digging to China out in my backyard, and I almost was there, and I hit something hard. Well, I dug and I dug and I dug a bit more, and I discovered the skull of a real dinosaur. And I would have cleaned up, but sir, hey, I'm no fool. I just couldn't be late on the first day of school. For a second or two, Mr. Booth kind of froze. Then he walked up to me and he looked down his nose. "I don't tolerate nonsense, no, not 1 degree. And your story sounds highly unlikely to me." "Why, of course it's unlikely," I said. "Oh, by far. The awesomest things in the world often are." For an instant his friend of my third cousin Ned's got a farm where the dairy cows each have 2 heads. That's so highly unlikely the tourists all stop, just to take their own pictures at $3 a pop. The cow with 2 heads. "Completely ridiculous," sneered Mr. Booth. "Please stop wasting our time and just stick to the truth." Well, the truth can seem crazy, like that one day in June when my grandfather famously walked on the moon. And he played a ukulele while flying a kite. It was all in the papers. You've heard of it, right? You know what my grandfather even implied? Someday he might take me along for the ride. See space and the kite. Oh, there's the planet Earth. And there's an astronaut on the moon. The class started cheering, take us too." Then Mr. Booth bristled and snapped, "That'll do. Pure poppycock. Class, please be quiet. Be still. He is not going off to the moon and never will." "That's all right," I told him. "The moon is okay, but I've been to much cooler place anyway." "I just went on vacation with my dad and my mom to an island somewhere between Norway and Guam, where the blueberry muffins grow right on the trees and you flip inside out every time that you sneeze. All the rabbits say moo and the puddles go neigh, and the traffic light colors are pink, blue, and gray." Oh, look at what the book does now. Oh, and every third Thursday about 1:30, all the gravity stops. Wow, is that ever fun? There's a squid eating contest, and hey, if you win it, they'll let you be king for exactly 1 minute. Then everyone does what you tell them to do, Man, I sure hope we get to go back to next year too. Mr. Booth didn't care for that story one bit. He furrowed his eyes and brow and he said, "Okay, that's it. Admit that your stories are simply absurd, and I just don't believe them, not one single word." Then I cleared my throat and I said, "Well, sir, you know, just 'cause you don't believe it doesn't mean it isn't so. Just 'cause you can't imagine it, that doesn't mean that it simply can't be or won't ever be seen. I'll bet every great thinker and leader we've got could see all kinds of things that other people could not. So when you get upset if somebody like me tries to look at the world just a bit differently..." "Enough!" Mr. Booth said. "No more of these stories and stunts. You'll march straight to the principal's office at once." Something slipped from my book as I walked through the door, and Mr. Booth picked it up. It was a picture on the floor, and his jaw hit the floor. It was me and a cow with not one head but two. "Oh," I said, "I was planning to give that to you. It's a little good luck gift I got for you for free." He stared hard at the photo, then he looked back at me. I avoided the principal's office that day. In fact, old Mr. Booth put my gift on display. He steals a quick glance at it once in a while, and I'm not even kidding, I once saw him smile. We should get along fine, and it's certainly clear there's not a lot we'll be teaching each other this year. There's a lot we'll be teaching each other this year, like how all of my stories are perfectly true. Except for one, well, maybe detail or two. The end. Good job listening, everyone. Thank you.